Hey folks, lovely to see you all again. Welcome to the 11th episode of the Kindness Files. I'm your host, Georgina, and the aim of this podcast is to spread a bit of joy with fond memories, connecting humans together through kindness. We're talking to some amazing humans that have shaped my life, and we drop a new episode weekly. And here is our 11th guest. This is Darren Draper.
Hello.
Welcome to the Kindness Files, Darren.
Thank you.
So we met about 2 years ago, I think, when we were working together, and you were so helpful to me when we first met in terms of like helping navigate the company, and just the kindness that you showed me is, shaped part of my journey as we work together, and your calm responses to my kind of scatty, we need to do everything now, was always really, really appreciated. And I'm glad we've stayed in touch. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk today about what kindness means to you and explore some kind moments in your life.
Okay.
Question number 1. What does kindness mean to you?
So what does kindness mean to me? So kindness, I feel, is about focusing on 100% on what you can give and not what you can get from a situation. So I think for me, people confuse kindness and being nice at times. And I think you can be kind without being nice. And at times you can be nice without being kind. And, we think about leadership and, feedback at times. And sometimes we hold back some of that feedback because we want to be kind to people. But actually what we're doing is we're being nice because it's an awkward conversation that we're going to have with people. And actually the kind thing is making sure that people can be the best that they can be, by giving them the feedback. So kindness for me is focusing on that give, not what we're getting from a situation.
Yeah, I like that. I heard something years ago, that nice is wallpaper and kind is the kind of being able to have those difficult and the lovely conversations, and it both being normal.
Definitely. And, for me as well, kindness is a habit. So the more we're kind, the more we will be kind as well, because it's how we're training ourselves. So, and at times it all starts with us. So if we're kind to ourselves, the chances are we're going to be kinder to others.
Yeah. And can you tell me about a time where you remember an act of kindness and why it stuck with you?
Yeah, so we were always told from quite a young age, be kind. But the first time that I came across it actively, I was reading a book in the early 2000s called Join Me, by an author called Danny Wallace. And he asked people to join him. And after about a month, the people that had joined him were like, why have we joined you? So he thought up of a way called Good Fridays. And it was basically a random act of kindness on Fridays from the people that have joined this collective, as he would call it, not a cult. So it's the first time that sort of kindness became a choice in my life. But one of the experiences really stuck with me. I was in a restaurant with my wife in America, and it was one of these 2-tiered restaurants. And the American family, full family, probably 3 generations, grandparents, parents, and young children were there. And some water was knocked over by them, maybe a little bit of red wine as well, and it went on our table. They apologised. We were like, don't worry, it's absolutely fine. We finished the rest of the meal, and we go, oh, could we have the bill, please? And the waitress went to get our bill, come back, and they went, it's been paid for you. And we were like, what? They were like, no, it's been paid for you by these people. And we were like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, have a fantastic vacation. Thank you so much for not making a big deal out of it. And it just showed that our kindness, that we didn't make a big deal over something that we see as quite small, meant that they then bought our meal for us. And then we then went, well, we're going to give this waitress a 50% tip as well. And so actually it just shows that lovely flow that kindness can happen. And yeah, it just felt really nice. And, a connection with people that we didn't have connection with before that night was just really good.
Nice. And it also shows the compound effect of kindness as well, talking about that flow of conversation of one thing happened, and then also about that active choice that you make, because it could have gone many different ways, and your active choice of saying, it's cool, don't worry, then created that ripple of a whole bunch of other kind acts.
Definitely. I think, and for me, a coffee shop is a fantastic place that, most people will go up to the barista, order their coffee, barely say a word, go down and collect their coffee. Now, actually, just to notice people by being kind and, just giving them, hello, how are you? You then get the lovely opportunity to go to the end of the counter waiting for your coffee to be made and watch how they interact with the next person. It might be slightly different. There might be a smile. And actually, it's cost you no more time. It's cost you no more money. So why wouldn't you just be kind?
Absolutely. What are you most thankful for?
So I guess, like most people, my family, my kids, and things like that are definitely top of my list. But do you know what? Currently, I'm running a leadership training course, and being able to spend time with people and listen to their stories and being inspired by them just shows how inspiring people are. And actually, everyone's got a story. It's all unique, and it's really brought home that we just need to create space to hear those stories. Because the more we hear those stories, the more we're inspired, the more we learn from each other. I think that's what I'm most thankful for at the moment. It's just people. And the more people you talk to, and the more you reach out to people, the more help you get as well. I've got some amazing people around me that, you just reach out and they will help. And they could just be a name and they know your name. And yeah, can we book in a coffee? Can we book in a chat? How have you got to this stage in ABC of your life? People are really willing to open up. And yeah, the more I listen to those stories, the more inspired by everyone I become.
Yeah. I love stories with normal people and how we can the things that some people might find mundane, I can find really fascinating. I spoke to a taxi driver once, and he lived in the UK for about 60 years, and he was talking about once he used to work for a lino company, and the difference between they were carrying a thing of lino, which if you've ever picked up lino, it's very heavy when it's in big rolls. And he dropped this lino, and then like 3 or 4 people came to help, and they were shimmying the weight around to do the thing that one person could have done, but actually it became a challenge. And I was just thinking, in the 60s, that it's a complete different generation to now, and those kind acts, then he remembered it to then tell me in a taxi journey. And those kind of things, I think, are really beautiful stories.
They are, and it always reminds me of the film Coco, the Pixar film, that always
Yeah.
says that no one truly dies until their stories are lost.
Mm.
And I think the more people can share those stories, then their stories aren't lost.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. What brings you the most joy in life?
Um, I guess, and this will include with my children as well. Allowing people the space to become the best that they can be, giving people an active choice in their life, I think is really important. We need to ensure that everyone can take 100% responsibility for their life. I'm in the lucky position, in both where I work and running this training course and being a parent, that I can be a leader in so many different ways, and giving people the space by not telling them what they need to do, but actually allowing them to grow, asking the right questions, enables that choice to sit with them. So if people succeed in what they're doing, they can show them self appreciation and self fulfillment by where they've got. I think at times we want someone to tell us the answer because that's the easy option for us, but that doesn't allow us to grow to be that best that we can be. So just having that opportunity on a daily basis for me is empowering for both me and others.
I love that. And I think that goes really nicely into the next question of, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do?
So for me, failure isn't an option. So you only fail when you don't start. So for me, I'm going to twist that question slightly. So I'm going to change it. That if you knew you would succeed in everything you set out to achieve, what would you do?
Okay.
So what am I going to say? I want to get everyone to realize how special they are, how inspirational they are, and how unique they are. I think people need to really understand that, there was a fact I read the other day that said I think it's 1 in 400 trillion of you actually being born. That just shows how special each and every one of us are. So if people could know that about themselves, I think that would be quite an achievement.
Oh. And when was the last time you did something for the first time?
So again, for me, that's every day. So every day is a unique set of events. I read a different book. The words are in a different order to any other book that I've read. I might speak to the same people, but what we talk about is slightly different. And I think it's really important that we see every day as the first day for the rest of our lives. So yeah, every day for me.
New page, new chapter kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And the penultimate question, which is something that you helped me with when I was putting together these questions, is, how have you treated yourself with kindness lately?
I think it's a couple of things. I think it's forgiveness. So again, things don't always go right. So it's about going, I'm not perfect, and forgiving yourself. And I think it's by saying no at times. So again, it's about giving yourself the space to do the things that you want to do that create your own happiness and your own self-fulfillment in both your job and your home life. Again, taking that responsibility on board and going, I'm going to say no because I want to be able to spend the time with that person or time with you. I think it's just really important.
Absolutely. And the final question is, if you could write a kind note to a stranger, what would you put on it?
Okay. So again, I've got two, but one's a
Okay.
lot of words. So I'm gonna say that one first, and then I'll show you the post-it note for the other
Okay.
one. So the first one is, don't try to change the world. Just try and change your world, because by changing your world, you can start to change the world. And I think that's really important, that no one sets out to change the world. They just start to change their world, but it does have that rolling impact on others. And then my actual one is, don't wait.
Can you put it a
So
bit closer?
there we
Thank
go.
you. Thank you very much.
So Warren Buffett, the financial guy, was asked what's the magic of making money, and he said compound interest. So that, for anyone that doesn't know, is interest on interest. And I think that's the same with happiness. That's the same with kindness. That's the same with fulfillment. If you do it now, we can build on it. You will always have that experience. You will always have that happiness. You will always have that conversation. And the more that we can then build on that over time, I think it will only add value to our lives. So don't wait, do it now. Make that phone call, book that holiday, because you can always build on it on the future.
I love that. Interesting fact for me, that's where the name of my business comes from, is Kind Two. It's around compounding kindness and around those kind of two people have a conversation that can then become four, can then become eight.
Yeah.
So that's where Kind Two comes from.
Lovely, lovely ripple effect, just like a river.
Exactly. So thank you so much for joining us, Darren, today. And next week, we're going to be talking to another awesome human. So please join us. Thanks very much. Bye, Darren. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.